Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, welcome back to my video and welcome back to my channel. After so long, it's been too long that I have not able to upload my video. Matam yang kuire ay vlog se video thagataba kay gino haba kanda ay study staff ta khara ko online class kay tawba kana nandabane ado ngasigi video sidi akoi lockdown se amuk laisalabani nang kamapan da thoaga video nambado aingonda khara inconvenience oire aduduna ngasigi blog sida tawjadori se haidi akoi Chetan Bhagat mayam se loina khangnaramani. Chetan Bhagat is an Indian author and columnist. He was included in Time magazine of 100 most influential people in 2010. Magi khara lai khara panjarabada 3 mistakes of my life, 5 points someone's aduduga ekhoi mayam pumna makna yamna nungai na yengba 3 idiots kick and half girlfriend mana ibane ado Chetan Bhagat se ngasi ekhoi magi life thabane bako lit school haina ekhoi gi school ga collaborate tauba adudagi changna ga ekhoi life se yengdoine ado magi theme sina kari no haiba kanda how to write a creative writing ne bako creative writing se kamaina igani haiba maram sida mana life ekhoi student da takpagi ne life se do mayam pulap yengmina se aduduga hojik COVID-19 se yamna positive oiba yamna kanna hengalakpa maramna mayam pumnamak ay viewers and all the peoples in Manipur and all the world stay safe, stay home and stay healthy. So let's go into the video.
Welcome to the first ever Lead Masterclass. This is me, Aditi Bhalla, from the event partner Unlu class. Our students should not only be equipped with excellent academic education, but also with non-academic skills, which help them succeed in life. They should be future ready, and keeping this in mind, for the need of a holistic development, we have introduced the Lead Masterclasses, a unique concept in which students will learn skills that will be with them throughout their life.
So today's session will be about creative writing, and we will get to know about all the secret formulas. There is no better than Mr. Chetan Bhagat who can tell us about all creative writing. Mr. Chetan Bhagat is India's best-selling author. He is author of 5 Points Someone, Two States, etc. that became blockbuster movies too. One of Time's 100 most influential personalities. Mr. Chetan will take all of us through creative writing secrets. After that, we will take up questions from the comment box. So keep asking the questions in the comment box and directly get answers from our today's expert, Mr. Chetan Bhagat. Do share the feedback by the form, link of which is there in the description. Now kids, let's hear from Mr. Chetan.
Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Himanshu, Aditi, for introducing me nicely. Thanks, Lead Masterclass, for having me here. I don't know if I'm Master G, but you're calling it a masterclass, so I don't know if I'm that much of a master, but I definitely will try today to tell you a few things that are useful for you, for your own writing, people who want to do creative writing, but also people who do any kind of writing, which is everybody, right? Because of course, some of you love telling stories like me. Some of you want to learn how these stories are written, how they are done, and why they are popular. And then I think what writers can also do is explain to people how to write in a nice way, even if it's not a story, even if it's about writing a resume, writing a cover letter for the resume, requesting someone for something. We live in a world where you end up writing, right? There is email. Of course, nobody writes those letters anymore, the handwritten ones, but people writing emails, people writing applications, and of course, along with writing is communication. Of course, sometimes you have to talk, and while it's not exactly writing, how to communicate is a broader discussion also. So I think I'm going to talk about all that today. I'm going to talk about storytelling also, because that is the main thing. But remember that a good writing will always come useful to you in life, even if you're not writing novels, even if you're not writing stories, because we are all telling stories every day to people. The story may not be a love story or a murder mystery or things like that. But when you go to an interview and say, my name is so and so, my name is Chetan, I want to take this job. Why do you want this job? How did you end up in this interview? What will you do when you join? What is that? That's a story. So in a way, we are all telling stories all the time. And if you know how to tell or write stories well, it will help you in life, in your own career, in other ways also. It's something that is ignored, and and something that is not understood. People sometimes think, what is there to it? It's just some people have it and some people don't have it. But it's not like that. There is a certain craft to it. There's an art to it. Yes, there's a certain talent for it. Agree. But there are a couple of things in this which you can learn also. So because that's really how I have gone about it. So let me first very quickly tell you how it even began for me. I As many of you know, I went to school, then I went to IIT, then I went to IM, um, and then I went to a bank. So it's not at all a storytelling background in a way. It's not at all something like I did degrees in creative writing or things like that. So obviously, I never expected that my writing will become the most popular in India, and it will remain so for 15, 20 years. And when that happened, I thought, let me figure out, like, why is this happened? Let me figure out what am I doing right, so that I can continue doing it right, and I can have some lessons for myself, and can also share with you guys. Because when I first started writing, it wasn't like some major bout of inspiration came. I was in school, Army Public School in Delhi, right? And we had a teacher called Mrs. Datta, I remember, and she said that she came to class. I was in class 5, and we were all young. And she said, the school is launching a magazine, and we want people to give articles for it, and nobody's giving it. And so, how will we make the magazine? And so we, typical, when you're in grade 5, you just listen to the teacher, then look at the window, look at each other, just try to avoid her eye gaze. And then she said, everyone must write something, because we are falling short. We cannot bring the magazine out. And we were like, okay, what to do, what to do. And so we all had to write a small article or a joke or a poem, anything. And I remember I wrote a small thing, maybe like a silly joke or some like a little thing, and I gave it. And then I forgot about it. And the magazine came 1 month later, and it was given in class. It was quite, I don't know why the school made such a big magazine of some 70, 80 pages. And the magazine was given to everybody, and I opened the page. And on one of the pages at the bottom, some senior student had written a big article. There was a small joke, and it said Chetan Bhagat, 5th A. And my God, I went like, I went crazy. I just felt, because I had never seen my name in printed font. Today it's a non-issue. On your phone, you can type your name in that. You can take a printout of your name, whatever, or on a tickets, your name is there. But in those days, there were no computers and all that. So you only, if you wanted to see your name, it would be written like by hand. To see your name in print was something I couldn't believe. It was such a big magazine, and I had like a 2-inch size article, and it had my name in it, and I was so excited that I couldn't sleep at night. I was like, wow, my name is in print. I'm somebody big. So I think that was the first inspiration for me to write. It wasn't some major desire to change the world. If it was basically Mrs. Dutta scolded us, I was forced to write an article. But when I saw it, I fell in love with the way the article was written, and it was like in all printed. It felt like I'd done something really important, because I'd just scribbled the article with my whatever pencil and paper, and then it was nicely typeset, nicely printed. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And that's how I started contributing to that magazine regularly. I started, then nobody had to force me. Then I started giving articles as I grew up. right until grade 12. Then when I went to IIT, I wrote some articles there also, because there is a magazine there. It's called Board of Student Publications, BSP. So I started contributing to those. I started even one couple of contests. There were a couple of like storytelling contests. Like I would win those. In IIM also I did. I wrote. Then I started writing plays. I started writing skits. Anything where there was some storytelling involved, I started doing it. And then I, you know, life took me to a bank, and it was just bank. I mean, most people, once they finish school, college, if you know, they then they start working and they forget about their extracurricular activities. And I felt very sad, because writing was such a deep part of me, that I felt like, what is this? I'm always in the bank. Yeah, bank is paying me a lot of money. It's nice life, comfortable, but I'm missing something. So I said, okay, let me write something. And I tried to write a couple of articles for the, I was in Hong Kong, and I tried to write a couple of articles for the local newspaper, and I published them also. But obviously, it was not as satisfying, and it was in Hong Kong. So what do I write about over there? So I said, okay, let me write a bigger story, and let me write about my own life in college, because I was happy there. So I wanted to write about that. And literally, that's how I wrote the story 5.1. It was not written with the expectation that it will be a big bestseller, that it will become the one of the biggest films of all time. Never like that. It just started like that. And of course, once I wrote it, it was not that easy to get it published also. It took me 2 years to find a publisher. So that's a long time. If you finish something and nobody's taking it, I think the book was done in 2002, and it finally came out in 2004. Finally, somebody like Rupa and Company was the publisher. They finally took it, they brought it out, did very well. And I felt that I want to make a career out of this. Now, this is important, right, guys? I can talk about passion, and I can talk about writing and the love of writing, but you have to make a living. You have to earn money also, right? And especially me, who was in the bank. So if I have to leave the bank and do writing, how will I pay the bills? How will I make money? And that was always an issue. And of course, writing is not the best paid. Like it's not like a very high paying kind of profession, really. um, like for example, like if you do real estate, or if you do stock market, these are professions where people on an average make good money. But in writing, is not, the average is not very good. So I was like, what do I do? And I said, firstly, I'm going to write a lot. Like I'll write a lot of books, and I will also not feel that now I'm an author, I only want to write books. Because that's in a way, like then you start, and many authors are like that. They're like, अरे अब तो हम, we write books, and हम क्या ये छोटी मोटी चीजें नहीं कर सकते कि आर्टिकल लिख रहे हैं या कुछ और करें. I feel like everything is important. If it's writing, like I told you in the beginning also, you are telling stories every day anyway to people, big, small, you know. So I started writing for newspapers. If you notice, my column comes in Times of India, it comes in Dainik Bhaskar also. I started, writing videos nowadays. Like for example, I do YouTube videos, quite a few of them motivational videos. I I have to write them before I shoot them. I mean, it's not like you just start and do a long video yourself. So that's, and then I started doing film screenplays. That was another way to firstly write wherever I could, and secondly to have different sources of income. I became a motivational speaker, which involved some storytelling. Like, what am I doing now? I'm telling you a story. I told you a story about my childhood till I became a writer. So when you do all these various things, then I was able to firstly have a busy kind of schedule, and also try to make a living out of it. So what I call this is monetizing your passion. So first is your passion, how to do your passion. And this is not just for writing. This could be useful for you, for people who have other passions other than writing. And then you have to find a way to monetize the passion. And what I told people is, write anything even if it's not your favorite writing thing, even if you love writing stories, but you're getting a chance to, uh, if you're getting a chance to write an article, or if you're getting a chance to write a blog, or if you're, even if it's a Facebook post, or if it's a nice Instagram post in which you have put some thought and you've written it nicely, it's good. It's good, you know. So uh, because that's how it is. And then, of course, if you can make a living from it, it's great. When I left my banking job, my income did drop a lot, because no matter what I did, but later on, God's grace, it picked up, and I think now it's probably, I ended up having more than what the bank would have given me. And of course, I do my own thing. So this was my quick story. Now I'm going to also tell you how a story is done. Okay. So first of all, and you can try to do this as I tell you, in your head or with a pencil paper, or even with in your head, you can do this. First of all, um, every story needs what we call a protagonist, uh, which in simple terms is a hero or heroine. But nowadays, the correct term is hero. Even for uh, female protagonists, we call them heroes only. So you need a protagonist, right? It can be anybody. It can be a man. It can be a woman. It can be an animal also. So it doesn't really matter, right? If people have written stories about toys, if you, I'm sure many of you have seen the movie Toy Story. It's one of the finest movies, and it has a great story. Toys who talk when the owner is away. And so the protagonists there are, Woody and Buzz Lightyear, if you remember. So you can have any protagonist, any. Okay. So once you have decided on that protagonist, and like, okay, I'm gonna, and normally when you're writing in the beginning, your stories will have protagonists coming from your life. That's okay. That's a good place to start, because you know yourself the best. Or it could be one of your friends, or it could be something you've seen, it could be something you feel strongly for. So you want to write the story about a doctor, you want to write the story about anybody which matters to you, right? Once you have a protagonist, remember that the first thing you need, of course, who is this protagonist? You need to know in your head how, what is their age, and how tall are they, and what do they look like, and what is they curly hair or straight hair, or do they wear glasses or not. Physical attributes, that's fine, right? You can also have some idea of what kind of person they are they hot headed, are they calm person. But this is not the most important thing in a character, right? The most important thing is, what do they want? What do they want? If your protagonist doesn't want anything, there is no story. They must want something, you know. And this faster you tell people what is it they want, the faster they will come into the story. What does a character want? It can be anything. It can be a cup of coffee, right? So the story can be about me, who wakes up in the morning, and I'm the person who wants a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, and he wakes up and there is no coffee in the house, right? And I need that cup of coffee because I'm not feeling good. So I step out of my house to get coffee, and it's raining heavily, so I can't step out, right? Or there's a lockdown and I can't go to the shop. You see what I'm going? So I'll tell you the next thing. So even wanting a cup of coffee is enough to write a story, actually. But normally you want bigger things. You want to, you can say that uh, he wants to graduate out of college properly, like Three Idiots was that. He you know, two states, the protagonist wants to get married to a South Indian girl, right? That's two states. And that's his want, right? He wants to be with this girl. And so that's the want. First thing you get is the want. And in the case of, say, Toy Story, Andy wants, Andy not playing with the toy, with Woody. So Woody, the old toy, is saying, my owner is growing up, he doesn't play with me anymore, I want him to play with me, right? So that's the want. The second thing is, there must be a problem. Okay. There must be a problem which we call conflict. There must be a conflict in the story. Otherwise, there is no story, right? If you say, I woke up, I wanted a cup of coffee, and there was a lot of coffee lying in the house. I made it, I had it. You'll be like, okay, that's a boring story, right? But if I told you there was no coffee in the house, or I opened the coffee box and inside there were cockroaches, you'll be like, oh, what? Then what did you do, right? Conflict. It could be cockroaches, it could be coffee is finished, it could be anything. But in two states, it's like he wants to get married to this girl, but the families are not agreeing. Conflict, right? Now, the more relatable the conflict to the reader, right? Because a lot of people in India face this. They want to get married, families don't agree. A lot of people relate to the two states conflict, right? So I try, and because a lot of people go to college and they find that there is too much stress and too much performance pressure on grades, and they this that a lot of people related to that. Our education system, when I wrote 5 Point Someone or when Three Idiots came out, I honestly did not know that so many people will relate to this, but they did. So ideally, the conflict should be something a lot of people face, right? Story about me not getting coffee. Not so many people will relate, or maybe some people will relate, but it's not so deep. It's not such a deep conflict. But in the beginning, start with simpler conflicts. It's difficult to tackle a conflict which is like a national problem or a big issue in society. It takes a while to get to that level, but you get the point. There is basically desire of the hero and the conflict of the hero, right? The other, sometimes it is also mentioned as intention obstacle. Remember this. So, uh, what is the intention of the hero, right? What do they want? Same thing. And what problems do they face? Means what is the conflict or what is the obstacle? Without this, you cannot proceed, right? This is the first thing that makes an interesting story. Otherwise, there's no story, right? So you start with this, right? And then you then say what problems do they face. The more problems they face, the better it is. The more conflicts they face, the better it is. Ideally, they face one problem. If you see any good movie, it happens, right? They think they have solved the problem, and then some bigger problem comes, right? And then some bigger problem comes. So his coffee is finished. He steps out of the house. There is lot of rain, right? He says, "No, I still want coffee. I'll go." So he takes an umbrella and goes out. But the rain is so much that the streets have water flowing, and he slips and he falls down. Problem number two. Now he's wet. Then he goes to the shop, and the shop is shut. Then he has to go to a further shop, like that, right? So it can keep going on, going on, going on like that. The more you do it, the more terrible it is for your hero, but the more fun it is for your readers, right? It's just the way it is. It makes a better story. The more challenging the situations, the stronger your hero actually comes across. Because we all want to read stories where we want to see people overcoming obstacles, because we are all facing obstacles in life, right? And so when we see a hero not giving up, going on and on, that's interesting to read, but it also, inspires us. It also feels, okay, I will not give up. Half Girlfriend, if you remember the story, this boy cannot speak English. So he has to, he likes a girl who's from that English society. So it's difficult for him. So like that, you can, if you can dissect each and every of my book, and you can find that thing pattern. You can dissect any movie, and you will find that pattern and things like that. You keep doing that, and then finally you find a resolution of that story. So if it's a short story, you will not have a very long set of obstacles. You will not have too many characters. You'll have maybe two, three, and then you'll find some resolution. Maybe if you want to make it a happy ending, he's all wet and this, and he finds that his some neighbor says, "Arey, why are you standing here? Come, would you like to have a cup of coffee?" That can be the end. Or it could be like he's so wet, he's like, "I don't even need coffee anymore, I'm so fresh." I don't know. So I kind of made a story on the fly here. I just kept talking to you and made a tiny story here. But that's really the way I I I hope I can tell you some idea of how a story is made. So that means there is a structure to it, there is a method to it, there is a process to it. Now, where is the creative? The creativity comes in imagination of the characters, of the obstacles, of how to overcome the obstacles. You know, the this is all something which is very hard to teach. That what should be the character? You decide. That's your imagination, right? I can tell you the structure that this is what it must have. It must have some conflict. It must have some hero who wants something, and then you go from there, right? And then it's your practice, your imagination, where you take it, right? So that's how i I feel you can get a start. There are of course articles, good articles on the internet. So I think with this introduction I have given you, those of you interested in writing stories should open up the internet and see how to get started. Write small stories, right? Read small stories on the internet. You know, sometimes in social media people write these tiny stories and they're going viral. See what is working in them, right? Why is this story gone viral? Why is this little paragraph with just like a little bit of sometimes people just write an incident. I was walking on the road and I saw one balloon seller, he gave me, and then whatever it is. See, okay, it may be a real incident also. Like I said, they sometimes, because actually that's also a story. When news channels give a news report, you know what they call it internally? They call it a story. And they are normally showing that, okay, this person could not get a bed in the hospital, then this person went here and then he got the bed. Or it could even be a sad ending that he didn't get the bed and someone died. It happens. The leaving what happened apart, because we are discussing writing today or stories today, that's also a story. And see what was the structure, who was the hero, what is the conflict, and especially stories that are going viral. Okay, what is the reason why this is going viral? This is a very relatable situation. This is a very touching story. This story tells me that human beings can be very generous. This story tells me that humanity is not dead, right? Once you find all these things, you will start um, I don't know, you will start seeing the world in the form of stories. Once you become a professional writer like me, you start seeing stories in everything. You start thinking, wow, this will make a good story, right? And of course, not every story can I can turn into a book, but that's really how my stories come, right? It's sad, but once you become a professional, that's what happens. In fact, Amitabh Bachchan once said that, it's really sad being an actor, because even in a funeral, when I go and I see people sad and crying, I take tips on, okay, next time I have a funeral scene, I can act like this. It's sad, but it's true. Now, that, it's not that bad for writers, but yes, we do look at the story. We do look at, uh, you know, how this could be written as a story. What would it be like, right? Once you have that whole story worked out, you just, if it's a short story, just start writing it. I mean, and see how it comes out, and see where you're getting stuck. Are you getting stuck in the middle, which means the conflict you designed and the obstacle you're creating, it's not working properly? Do you get stuck in not getting a nice ending? Do you get stuck in the beginning only, where you don't even know how to proceed? And you will find that normally it's a problem with how you design the hero. Maybe what you shared that the hero wants is not a big deal. Something like that will happen to you. So that's really how stories are written. Now, what makes me unique? What makes my book sell more? And of course, there is no one correct answer to this, right? It's not there. Now, and that's not even that important. What is important is, okay, you learn how to write a story, you learn what the story is all about. That's simple. It was fairly simple. Why do some writers shine? Why do some writers get read? Some writers don't. So I'll give you some tips on that, and that is relevant beyond stories. That is relevant when you write anything, when you write any email, when you write any application, when you write any cover letter, even when you're presenting something or you're talking to someone, that's communication. So in a way, there is, like I said, there is some storytelling in that also. Now there you are not doing conflicts and intention and all those things, but there you are actually maybe talking about a situation, talking about why you need help, what you want, right? I want a job, right, for example. But couple of tips in that, and that's, I think, the reason for my success. Number one is clarity of mind. You must be clear in your head. What is it you are writing? What is the aim of this email? What is the aim of this letter I'm writing? What is the purpose of this meeting I'm having with this person? What is it? Okay. If you are not only clear, your writing will not be clear. And clear writing gets read, and unclear writing doesn't get read. I think most people want to become writers because they want to be read. Nobody wants to be a writer who doesn't want, like, people don't read, but somehow the English is very complicated. In India, we have a bad kind of system, maybe because of colonial legacy or whatever. We feel that someone with a great complicated English vocabulary has very good English. We think that, wow, क्या इंग्लिश है यार, कमाल की इंग्लिश है, कुछ समझ नहीं आता क्या बोल रहे हैं, क्या वर्ड्स है, समझ ही नहीं आता क्या बोल रहे हैं. Now, अगर समझ नहीं आता है, right, if you don't understand what the other person is saying, then you are basically failing at the most important reason why you are writing, which is communication. It's a written communication. Or when you're speaking also, then it's oral communication. If you are failing at communication, I don't care how elaborate your vocabulary is, it's flop, because it's not going to work. And that requires clarity if you want to communicate properly, and that requires simplicity. People, like I said, look down on simplicity. People feel like, oh, but then I tell them, write simply, show me, and they can't. It's easy to make fun of simplicity, because simplicity is something simple is so easy to understand that you can praise it and you can also criticize it. If something is complicated, you don't understand it only. So, what is there to praise or criticize? If it's so simple that bachcha bhi samajh raha hai, if a class 5 person can also read a book and a 8-year-old can also read a book, so simple, right? But try writing it. So I say this often, it is not that simple to be simple. Think about it. I'll say it again. It is not that simple to be simple. It's simple to consume, it's simple to read, it's simple to understand, but it's not simple to create. Simplicity. But simplicity, to me, like I said, I'm going into my opinion zone. Some writers may think differently, and it has worked for me. So I believe it. Simplicity is beautiful. Simplicity is where the magic of my books lie. That even though the stories are like about, like, India's education system or South versus North and everything, at the end of the day, it's very simple. Someone with a very basic understanding of English can understand the whole book. I've told you in this talk today quite a few complicated concepts on how characters and stories and arcs and basically conflict, and, intention, all these things. But I think most of you have understood what I'm talking about, sort of. And I think that is because I've tried to keep it simple. I could have made it very complicated, but it doesn't help, because what is my purpose today? To communicate to you. What is in my head must go in your head. So it goes from my head to my mouth to your ears, and then from your ears to your head. That's the journey, right? When it's written, it goes from paper or whatever screen to your eyes to your brain. And it went from my brain to that paper. This is the journey. My brain, paper, your eyes, your brain, understood. If in this journey the material is lost and you get confused, no matter how amazing your language is, you have failed. And the way I keep it is I keep it simple and I make it interesting, so that even if it's a long story or an article or a lecture, it can still keep your mind busy on it. This is something you try to remember. Simplicity, even if nothing else, you keep your communication simple and try to make the other person understand. Think that, okay, how would I like this to be told that person understood? The simplest way possible, not the most complicated way possible. You will win. Write to express, not impress. Remember this. I write to express myself, not to impress anyone. And that has worked for me. And ultimately, it's become pretty impressive because it's reached so many people. So you write to express, not to impress, right? These were some of the tips I have wanted to share with you. Of course, it's a lifelong journey being a writer. It's not something that you just do it like this. But I think it's, if this has created some curiosity in you, this has given you some tips to get started, and made you appreciate the power of simplicity and good communication, I think it's worth it that you've gained all that. And now start your journey and be aware whenever you're writing, whenever you're communicating, that I'll be a good communicator. I'll be a good writing communicator. I'll be a good oral communicator, because it will take you very far in life, whether you are in writer or not. Some of the biggest weapons or powers of a leader is communication. CEOs, good CEOs communicate. Good leaders, politicians, prime ministers, they are good orators and they are writing. I mean, somebody is writing for them or whatever, but they are good writers, or they are writing it sometimes. They have that thing in them to communicate properly. And it all comes down from writing, right? So learn that power. It still holds today. There is tech, there is Instagram, there's Facebook, there's YouTube. You feel like, oh, writing is not, it's all the best things are written first. And then that's converted to a video, to a movie, to a post, or whatever. But some amount of thought in writing is always there. So value writing, learn it, keep it simple, understand the basics, protagonist, story, intention, obstacle, and you'll be okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chetan sir, for sharing such valuable concepts and awe-inspiring stories with us. And thanks everybody for sharing all your comments. And I think sir is reading everything there in the chat box. And we'll ask Chetan sir all of your questions live right now. So you drop in your questions right here in the chat box, and we'll voice them for sir. So there is one question. Arushi Sharda has asked, I have a lot of stories that I start writing, but I'm never able to complete them. Is that normal, or where am I going wrong?
Well, like anything in life, this is, of course, this is not a motivation class, it's a writing class, but as you know, I'm a motivation speaker. So the first question, you brought me right into motivation. Everything you feel like giving up. Anything worthwhile, people feel like giving up. People feel like giving up preparing for entrance exams. People feel like giving up going to the gym. People feel like giving up diets. People feel like giving up writing, because it's hard. It's hard. It requires self-discipline, right? It requires mental strength. It requires habit. So all I would say is, make it part of your routine. Don't do too much on one day and then you'll never do it again, right? It's the same as we do with diet. Do a diet that is you can keep for life, right? Do a exercise that you can maintain regularly. There's no point going to the gym for 7 hours one day and then not going for 3 months, right? Better you go half an hour a day for every day, like that. So same for writing. Maybe you can't write every day, but say, okay, 4 days a week, I will write for half an hour. and I will not think about when will this finish, when will this open. I will just write half an hour, or I will just write 500 words, or I'll just write one page, whatever criteria you feel is reasonable for you, and then just keep going. But yes, self discipline, it is work, it is hard. Playing a musical instrument is hard, sports is hard, studies is hard, writing is hard. Life is hard, guys. Life is difficult. The day you accept this fact that life is difficult, you'll be okay. You'll not worry about it so much. This is a very nice, simplest quote. Life is uphill. Think about it. Life is going uphill on a road or a mountain. It's always work. To live a happy life, you need to work to make it happy. It won't just come to you. So yes, I hear you. I struggle with self-discipline in writing even now after writing more than 10 books. So yeah, it's tough.
Right. So the next question is by Sabia Gul. Can we have an antagonist in a story? Can a story work without having an antagonist? And is the opposite character of the protagonist important?
Yeah. So when you talk antagonist, it's the person opposing the protagonist. It's anti. You can say hero versus villain. But the antagonist doesn't have to be a person. There will be an antagonist, but that may not be a person. Like, for example, in the coffee story example I gave you, the antagonist was the rain. The antagonist was nature. The antagonist was maybe if there's a lockdown, then the government regulations. So it's there will be problems, and the problems and the obstacles that I'm talking about could come from another person also. So in two states, the antagonists were the families who didn't want the wedding to happen. But you can do it without human antagonists. You can do it man versus nature. These are called man versus nature stories, man versus system, and of course, man versus man, or man versus woman, or woman versus man, or man versus several women. You need an antagonist, but it doesn't have to be a one person as such.
Okay. So our third question is by Shivani T. Which is your best story that you have written till date?
Come on, yaar, it's very hard to be partial to anyone. I mean, I don't know. You guys have to decide that. I would like to believe the best is yet to come. Actually, I have written another book in the lockdown because the lockdown I couldn't do anything else. It's ready. It's just that we have not released it now, and that is you know that's come out really well, and that's because I had nothing else to do. I was not doing any talks. I was not traveling. There were no breaks. It was just quiet, and I have never written with so much focus. I can't tell you much about that book, but it's got phenomenal. We give the book to many people to read before it comes out, and it's got phenomenal feedback. So it's my next story will be my best story, and I think that's a good attitude to have in life anyway. The best is yet to come.
I have another question. It's Weber from Tagore's High School, Hyderabad. He asks if he needs to take a particular professional course if he wants to take up writing as a career option.
I didn't, and you don't need to. There is plenty of articles that will get you started. What you need is practice in writing. You know, ultimately action is needed. It's like watching. Yeah, it can help a little bit, but it's like watching sports videos. Like, let's say you're watching a lot of videos on how to play basketball. You can gain a few tips. Like, I run, so sometimes I read articles on how to run better, right? And they say posture and whatever. Keep a straight posture, move your arms like this, all that. But you tell me, is it possible to become a runner by just watching videos? No, you become a runner by running. So you become a writer by writing. So you can do a small course if you want. I mean, it doesn't need to be super expensive, or it can even be free. Many course, I don't know. But more than anything, as long as it gets you in the frame to write, but more than anything, write. You know.
Okay. I have D. Satvik from Indus World School, Ahmednagar. and he wants to ask which is your favorite book.
There are many books which are favorites. The beauty of the world of books is there is more than one book. But okay, say Animal Farm is a book I really like. So but it's not like it's number one and the rest are two. It just depends. Like some books can't even be compared. Like a good motivation book versus a good murder mystery. How can you compare them? But they can both be amazing.
Right. I've got Amar Singh. He is asking, I tell a joke, but no one laughs at
How
any,
sweet.
like if somebody else tells the same joke, everyone laughs. So how do I tell that joke with style? And yeah, that's the question.
How sweet. I don't know. It's okay, yaar. Every joke won't work. Every joke doesn't work. How can it be? But what you do is you practice many jokes. And is it the joke itself that is not funny, or is it the way of saying it? Because jokes have two things: how you tell it and what is the joke. And if something flops, it's okay. You didn't put money in it. It's not like you made a movie as a producer and lost money. Just never use it again. And if a joke works, then keep it and then repeat it. All you need is a few jokes which are a hit, then keep repeating them. But that's part of, like, if you are trying to write something funny, every time it won't work. So yeah, when you're writing something funny, it has to be funny also, not just a, so and you're doing the right thing by testing it on other people, because that's the only way you know. Because in your head it's funny, but it's not funny to other people. So yeah, you just practice, and then maybe out of 10, 7 don't work, but the 2, 3 that work, you keep. And then next time you tell them 3, one after the other, and they'll be like, wow, man, what a guy, he's so funny. But they don't know that 7 flops were also there. But that's okay, that's part of the routine. That's how stand-up comics do it. They literally write a lot of things, then they test it, and where they don't get a response, they delete that and they keep what is good.
Okay, I have another question, but I don't have the name for this one. The question is, I think it's quite similar to the previous one, but it says how I got a lot of ideas in my mind, but I can't copy that on a paper, and they don't come out as interesting as they are in my head. How can I get over this?
Yes, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing. When people criticize a writing, and then when people say, "Oh, this is not good. Oh, anybody could have written this," then you tell them, pen, paper, please write. They can't, because I told you it's a 4-step journey. My mind to paper to eyes to brain. This to this is difficult, because your imagination is amazing. Your imagination is amazing, right? But doesn't mean you can put it on paper as beautifully. And how will you do that? By practice. By practice, by realizing that, okay, what did I miss out? What was not? And by reworking, by editing, by rewriting. And that's the practice. Why am I asking you to practice? To make sure what is in your mind comes out straight with clarity, right? So that, and that people can notice that this person knows what they're talking about. It's clear. That's what makes a good speaker or a good writer, is that they are able to express. It's expression. So expressing is that only, but it'll come with practice. Don't give up, you know.
Right. I have Anjana Patidar. She's asking. She wants to read your biopic.
Oh,
Uh, whenever you read it, whenever you write it, and she wants to know about your life and your struggles.
yeah. So I don't have a biopic planned as such, but if you go to YouTube and you go to my channel, Chetan Bhagat, I do something called long videos, in which I just sit and talk about long, like it's 40, 50 minutes about my life, and yeah, a particular part of my life, from my childhood to like college, the things like that. And now there are 7 of them. There, every 3, 4 weeks I do one, and now there's 7 of them. So it's almost like a biopic, but it's me talking, and they're quite popular. People really like them. So you can go to YouTube and search Chetan Bhagat long video, and you will get 1 to 7. So you will know all my struggles. There I go in detail on each time I was stuck. That is my story in a way, where I'm the protagonist and all the struggles that have come. But it's long because it's YouTube, so you can put whatever length. So it's 7 of them so far, and more are coming. So you'll be sick of me by the time you see them all.
So this is the last question. Which type of story do I write first? Magical, adventurous, fantasy, or action?
How I can tell you this? How I can say action? ऐसे तो नहीं कर सकते. It has to come from you. But do start and do pick one. Write all, but you have to choose one. And whichever you are seeing a little bit of a start, you can say, okay, I can start it like this. This is my hero. Then go for it. They're all good. It's fine. Don't get stuck on the genre. Just start writing. Just get the character and their journey, like in the sense that intention and obstacle, and then just go for it. Maybe it can be an action fantasy. Maybe it can be a hybrid also. Who knows?
So at last it come to the conclusions. Mayamsu life ado nungaina yengbirangani haina khalle ado mathangi blog sidi karamba video thagalanibano haina mayam agi viewers mayam amade agi subscriber mayamna makha comment box da haibiramo. So please like, subscribe and share my video. Once again, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallahu khair.